fragrances for beginners. So fragrances for those who don't know much about fragrances, don't wear them too often, that sort of thing. I've compiled a small list of fragrances that are very just approachable, affordable, well-liked, and not too much of anything crazy, just a well-balanced fragrances. And as always, all the fragrances I mentioned will be available in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. I'm going to start with, perchance, the most liked fragrance on the market right now. This is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. Classic, a modern classic. This is pretty much a very well-balanced type of green apple, citrus, clean type of fragrance for women. There's also a men's version, which is pretty similar. Just in general, just a fresh, breezy, summertime type of fragrance. You can't go wrong with this. Everyone likes it. If you look on, the reviews for this, it's always just like super high, everyone loves this. Great reviews. And again, it's just nice for the summer, especially because it has that summertime kind of vibe to it. Very fresh and clean. It kind of reminds me of like fresh laundry, clean linens, that sort of thing. While also having some of those crisp fruit notes thrown in there. Plus, this is pretty affordable. I believe it's maybe $50-ish. Most of these are going to be under $100. So definitely a very, very approachable option. Well liked. You're not going to get anyone who's like, I hate your perfume, because again, most people really, really like light blue. It's a very popular option. Downside, it doesn't have great longevity. It's probably going to last around 4 hours, but that is kind of normal for this type of lighter fragrance. But besides that, maybe you don't want something as kind of standard as this. Then I would say go a little bit more retro, I guess. This came out in the 90s. Red Door. This is still a very, very good fragrance, I would say. A floral fragrance with a large number of florals. There's like 20 different florals in here. You have rose, lily, basically everything. Any floral you think of, it's in here. Plus a honey note for a little bit of added sweetness, a little added complexity. This is a surprisingly long-lasting floral, because usually pure floral fragrances don't last super long, but this is actually surprisingly strong. It's going to last at least 7 hours. So definitely above average on the longevity. The smell itself is very nice, very feminine, kind of a classic type of scent. And what I like especially is that it's a little bit powdery, so it has that kind of clean, powdery nature to it, which I just think is a really nice option to have around. And this one as well is pretty affordable. I believe it's between $30 and $40, so definitely approachable for most people. And you get this very stylish bottle of the Red Door, which I think is kind of cool. Now, besides this one, which, maybe you don't want to go for a 1990s fragrance, then I would say not super modern, but a little bit more modern. This is Black Opium. Now, this is, if you're looking for something a little heavier, this is also an extremely popular, extremely well-liked type of fragrance for women. It's, again, heavier. It's more on the seductive side of things. For a long time, about 10 years ago, it was primarily a clubbing fragrance. It's become less oversaturated now and more versatile. It's pretty much a black coffee type of fragrance with some wood notes, a little bit of sweetness thrown in there. Again, definitely not the type of fragrance you would want if you don't want a stronger, heavier fragrance. But if you do, then this is a pretty good option. Again, it's very well liked, not as oversaturated as it was once before. It has some orange blossom notes as well. So it is still pretty feminine despite being on the heavier side. And it's just a generally fun fragrance to wear. And as a bonus, it lasts a really long time. Whenever I wear it, it seems to last at least 8 hours. Again, it used to be considered a clubbing fragrance, so clubbing fragrances generally last quite a long time. So great longevity, great projection, You can't really go wrong with this unless, again, you are not into this type of heavier type of fragrance. Now, going for something as a classic, if you really cannot decide what type of fragrance you want to try, you can just go for the tried and true option, which is Chanel No. 5. #1 best-selling fragrance in the world. It has been that for like 100 years. This is a very, very elegant, very classic feminine fragrance, floral aldehyde fragrance. So you're getting a whole bunch of nice florals, mostly white florals, but you're also getting a mix of kind of a vintage style kind of base notes with sandalwood, amber, musk, oak moss, some animalistic notes on a fainter scale. But in general, this is a very, very well-rounded, well-balanced feminine fragrance, and definitely if you're trying to embody a more elegant type of vibe, this is gonna do it. That's what it was designed for, to be elegant but also unique, you know, mixing those florals with the muskier notes. And because of that mixture, it also lasted a long time as a floral fragrance. Again, minimum around 7-ish hours, more like 8. But definitely it'll last as long as you need it for the most part, and just a nice fragrance. If you're not into some of the heavier base notes that it has, like civet or the musk, you might not like it, but in general, most people enjoy Chanel No. 5. Then the last one that I have is actually pretty similar, but on a more affordable budget. This is Le Mans from Coty. This is actually, it was also made in the 1920s along with Chanel No. 5. It came out a little bit after Chanel No. 5. But this is also an aldehyde floral fragrance, which is, you know, quite nice and a little bit fresh. And it also has a unique powderiness that sets it apart from Chanel No. 5. Also, it's much cheaper. Chanel No. 5 is about $90. This is about $20. It isn't as strong as Chanel No. 5. It probably lasts about 4-ish hours, but it is very, very pleasant. Like I said, it's powdery, it's fresh, it's clean. It has a little bit of amberiness to kind of warm it up a little bit. And in general, it's just kind of a nice casual daytime type of fragrance. And again, you don't have to spend too much on this, so you could really just cover yourself with this if you feel like it. And you don't have to worry about wasting the product. And you get this nice kind of Art Deco bottle, reminiscent of the 1920s, which I think is pretty cool. But that is pretty much my list for fragrances for beginners, approachable, affordable, and well-liked fragrances. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, of course, you can leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.